How's it going, guys? It is time for your rookie drafts. And today we're going to be going over a latest rookie mock draft. This is right after the NFL draft has happened. I know some people have already started the rookie drafts. So we need to get into this before we get too far into these rounds. And if you haven't already, hopefully you can watch this and take something from it, because this is where people are drafting all these rookies who just got drafted a few days ago. So we're going to get right into it here and see where the ADPs are. I'm going to tell you who I would be drafting in some of these places. So today I'm going to be drafting from the 104. And I think it's a great spot to be in. Besides, having Bijan Robinson at 101, 104 is a spot where you can get a quarterback. Not of your choosing, but you're still going to get one of the three elite quarterbacks, and maybe someone will pick not a quarterback at 102, 103. So let's get this thing started. We got a room full of people who's ready to go. If you ever want to join one of these mock drafts, I'm going to put a link in the Discord. I announced it on in the Trades and Grades Discord. You join that, and you'll get first dibs on joining one of these live rookie mocks or startup drafts as well. So without further ado, let's start this rookie mock draft. Probably the last one we'll do of the season, as we are now getting into the real stuff, the real rookie drafts, and I've never been more excited. This is it's been a long off season, and we finally get to see where these players are going to go. We have landing spots. Thank goodness we have landing spots. No more hypotheticals. So I'm just stoked. So we're sitting here at the 104. Now, if you get in this position, you see Bijan, Anthony Richardson, who I believe is the number one quarterback to pick in Dynasty Fantasy Football. You want to go Anthony Richardson here. Now you have the 103 to take CJ Stroud. I'm going to go with Bryce Young. It's almost a no-brainer for me. And you're happy that you get the number one pick in the NFL draft there. And an elite quarterback, most likely, I believe. Now, he has a small stature, small frame. That's a concern. Everyone's going to note that. But at the end of the day, I'm not too worried about it. The NFL is not too worried about it. So, he's a unique individual, and I think he should be able to play better than what some people might be worried about. So we'll see how that goes. But there's just in a Superflex draft, you have to be going quarterback there. There's just no way you don't go quarterback. There's too much value to lose there. They retain their value for such a long time. So we gotta go Bryce Young there. Then we go Jahmyr Gibbs at the 105. That's going to be one of the hardest decisions to make if you have the 105 this year's. Are you going to take Jahmyr Gibbs, or are you going to take Jackson Smith and Jigba? And to be honest with you, I think you just have to go, if you're in multiple dynasty leagues, I'm probably going to be going 50-50 there. I think the logical thing is to probably take the wide receiver, because they have better value for a longer period of time. I really like Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think he's far and away the best wide receiver in this class. However, Seattle's an okay landing spot, not great. Would have been fantastic with the Chargers, and I think you'd almost have to go with him there. But Gibbs got picked 12th, and I'm going to be releasing the final grades of my running back model. And in those grades, you'll see Jahmyr Gibbs actually is in a tier that I did not think he'd be in. He ended up grading out very, very well. So be on the lookout for that, because I'm extremely excited to show you guys the first time ever of me giving out my rookie grades. I have 7 years worth of grades that I've accumulated. This is the first time I'll be coming out with this year's rookie grades finalized after the draft. So I'll be excited for that. But Gibbs, yeah, he's an extremely good running back, grades out very well, and that draft capital was just absurd. So we're going to be in the middle of the first round, and it's just a handful of wide receivers there. Addison, Quentin Johnson, Zay Flowers. That's exactly how I draft from right there. Addison, Quentin Johnson, Zay Flowers in a row. And if you're going to draft that there, the 109 is tough because you have a couple tight ends that are enticing. But we're up here at the 204, and I really like this spot now. Wow, this is going to be tough. I talk about how you need to pick quarterback here in a tight end premium and Superflex draft. Will Levis is still on the board. I really like Tajay Spears. I know Will Levis dropped out of the first round, so it's not great. But again, this is quarterbacks are such a of high commodity. You just have to go here. It's gonna feel really gross. But the 2 of 4, I'm gonna pick Will Levis. I can't say that I feel great doing that pick, but down the line, I mean, right now, I just feel like he's worth more than a mid to early second round pick. Um, you look at all the quarterbacks that there are in terms of elite quarterbacks in a startup, and it really drops off drastically. So if you can hit on a guy in the middle of the second round of a rookie draft, I don't see him not being the starter within the next couple of years. I know the NFL, well, he didn't get drafted where people thought he was going to, but I'm not terribly worried. I actually really like the landing spot in Tennessee. We'll see how it goes, but I just feel like the value's there. You got to pick him. Well, I think one thing to talk about is these tight ends here in this class. Very strong. You see 2 taken in the first round. I'm going with Kincaid first over Mayer. I think he has a better chance. I think he's a better overall tight end for fantasy football in terms of being able to catch the ball. His moves after the ball is yards created, yards after the catch. I don't think he'll block nearly as well as Meyer does, but we don't care about that for fantasy football. And honestly, it's probably better if he doesn't because he'll be involved a lot more in the passing game. So we're going Kincaid there. A chain, the running back 3, it's going to be really tough. I'll be honest. The running back 3 is going to be extremely difficult to figure out who we want to pick, right? Because you have A chain. Charbonnet was pretty much the running back 3 all by himself until he had a horrible landing spot in Seattle, right? We got to talk about that. Terrible landing spot. And really just what do we do with him, right? Because you don't want to draft landing spot over talent necessarily. But, man, that is just – especially when you're behind a rookie running back, right? It's not like Kenneth Walker's going anywhere. He's going to be stuck behind him for at least the next 2 to 3 years. I really don't know how he's going to have much of a role there. He'll have a good passing role, I suppose, but he'll never have a 3-down back role, which we really hoped he was going to get like in Miami. Whereas Devin Achane, he's going to have that role unless they sign somebody. And that's the only thing that's stopping me from saying he's running back 3 for sure, is I'm worried that it might sign somebody in Miami because we still have guys like Dalvin Cook could be traded there. I know Zeke, a lot of tread on the tires, but could take something away there. There's guys lurking out there, Kareem Hunt. So I'm just a little bit worried to be like, yeah, we're all in a Devin Achane for running back 3. It's going to be tough to pick. I'd rather not be the person to pick. I'd rather be the person to pick running back 4 or 5 or 6, to be honest with you. So here we are at the 304. And we got, Jaden Reed got picked really high and compared to what we thought before the draft. Cedric Tillman, okay, yeah, he's going to Browns there. This is just not a great spot. I'd much rather have Sam Laporta there. There's a great pick there by Vic. I love Laporta. Oof, this is just not – none of these guys are really what you want to see here. This is tough. I think I'm going to have to go with somebody who listen, I'm a Bears fan. I'm really thinking about going Tyler Skye here. That seems awfully high. I think I can get him later. We'll go with 3 just because of the ADP. I don't like any of these picks here. I don't like Tillman. Vanacanda is going to be behind Breece Hall for his whole career. Keishawn Butte could be an upside pick, but I don't know what he's going to bring. He has such a high. There's so many different things can happen with Keishawn Butte that we just I don't know. But Jaden Reed seems like a safer play. Green Bay really seemed like they wanted to get him. They went up, drafted him a lot higher than we thought. Maybe he could be a decent wide receiver too there, being Christian Watson. I don't know. This is just a really gross part of the draft now that we're going through this, which is good. This is why we're doing a rookie mock, because we want to see where the values are. Man, that is just not an ideal spot to be in. Zach Evans. Let's touch on Zach Evans real fast. Got drafted really late, but he got in a good spot with the Rams. He's graded out extremely terrible for me. I mean, almost untouchable. But he's got a really good pedigree, and he's got a good landing spot. So if you're going to go at the 3-8 for a high upside pick, I mean, you're kind of throwing darts at that point, right? Not a bad guy to throw a dart on. I get terrible draft capital, but he got a spot on an NFL roster ish. I guess they haven't. He'll be there to be in training camp. He'll have a shot. So I don't mind a pick there, but we're looking through. We'll go ahead and do a little recap of the second round as we move it along. I think that first off, we're talking about Devin A. Chain as a running back 3. We just touched on that, but talked about Charbonnet. Kendrick Miller in New Orleans. I really like him. I don't know if he's going to be able to show much this year with Jamal Williams there being pretty much the guy who's going to steal all the touchdowns and in between the tackles runner. And then you also have, of course, Alvin Kamara, which we don't know what the whole suspension deal is going to happen there. But I think next year will really be the emergence of Kendrick Miller. He should be that 3-down back that we hope to see. And so you're pretty much waiting for next year, in my opinion, with Kendrick Miller. But I can see him being running back 3 as well. There's a case to make. I'm 100% taking Tajay Spears over Tank Bigsby. However, Tajay Spears has a good argument to become the running back 3 himself as well, in my opinion. He graded out super well. I've said this multiple times. I've tweeted it out. He's one of only 2 running backs in this class to have a next-gen grade of over 85. And out of the last 8 years, I believe, of running backs who have had a next-gen grade over 85, I believe there's 18, they average at least 14 points per game. So that is something to keep in mind when you're looking at Tajay Spears. He's an elite company in terms of his athleticism and production. The only worry is pretty much, 1, he's behind Derrick Henry. 2, he's had injury concerns. But Tajay Spears is a guy, if you can get him at the 208, that is 100% a steal. I mean, that is unbelievable steal. Here we are at the 404. Now we're talking about dart throws. This is a dart throw. And we already talked about a guy like Tyler Scott, who was, I think, really well. He was graded pretty highly coming into the draft. And the Bears got a nice steal there as well. So we're going to go with Tyler Scott there. Evan Hull's a guy to keep him eye on there as well. But he is stuck behind Jonathan Taylor. Kind of a crappy landing spot for him. This is a weird draft for the 104. I will say, you would have showed me this pre-draft, I would have said, "Wow, Noah? What are you doing? This is a terrible draft." But that's what happens. Things get shaken up. Guys like Dwayne McBride, Banakanda, Eric Gray, Zach Evans, all just kind of got late draft capital, crappy landing spots, and now they're going way later than they would have before. Then you got guys like Luke Schoonmaker, or Mocker, or however you pronounce that, going at the 3-5 in front of Kayshon Boutte and Zach. I mean, it's wild what the draft uncovers and reveals. So I think this is important to kind of look at these, 1, ADP, and 2, what real people are doing, right? This is what real people are drafting. They're picking Jonathan Mingo in the middle of the second round, a guy who's got really good build. Not a lot of production. It's pretty risky. But he goes to Carolina and he's automatically Bryce Young's number 1 target, essentially, because they don't have anybody. So that's something to keep in mind when you're looking at your rookie drafts. Looking through the third round here, I'll make a note, Roschon Johnson there. I do like him. I think in the end of the second is probably a fair assessment. I like him there. I think he'll be in a good mix with the Bears running back committee there. Hendon Hooker, early third. I think it's a great pick there. A value pick with the quarterbacks in the third round. To be honest with you, if he had gone in the first round to Detroit, we would have been talking first round rookie draft automatic, probably in the top 10. But instead you get him here at the 3-1, and now he has time to develop. I really like that pick there. That is a huge value play. Getting Hendon Hooker there in the third. If he's there at the 301 in any of your guys' drafts, you got to go for him. What's up, Caleb? Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Miss you, bro. But yeah, I think looking at this picture, people will say this 23 class did not live up to the hype. And to an extent, they're right. It did not. But does anything ever live up to the hype, I guess, is my question. What were we expecting, I suppose, is the first 12 picks were all going to be elite players. Perhaps that was just not like when was the last draft that really happened? Um, I don't know. It just seemed maybe a little bit out of reach from reality, which everyone, including myself, was probably guilty of. However, we got to look at what is now, right? We can't look at what this 23 class is supposed to be. That's all that's gone. Okay. We have the NFL draft. We got to figure out what we're going to do with it. Are we going to keep our picks? Are we going to trade them for proven NFL talent? I'll tell you what, after the 1-6, in my opinion, big teardrop. Like the drop there is large. I'm not saying I don't like Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnston, but there is a tier break there. And I am looking to trade after the 1-6. If I can get in the top 6 picks, those are elite talents. Um, you know, I will say Addison, Quentin Johnson are good players as well. And I don't mind having them. I would just start to shop around a little bit, see what I can get for the 1-7, 1-8, just to see. But then, yeah, Caleb, you're right. After that, it gets questionable, I will say. There's still good players on the board. Zay Flowers is a good player. I don't know how he's going to fit in the Baltimore offense. They got a new offensive coordinator, thank goodness. Devin A. Chain could be a fantastic running back in that Miami offense. Holy cow, he's faster than lightning. But he also might not be used as much as we think he's going to be. Yep, Jared, 100%. One QB is going to be rough in the late first. Let's say we take out these quarterbacks here, right? So we're going to go Bijan, Gibbs. Let's just go one QB. Bijan, Gibbs, JSN. That's top 3 automatic. We're going Addison, Quentin Johnston, 1-4, 1-5. After that, 1-6, it's like, oh crap, what are we doing here? Okay, we go Zay Flowers. Now, well, maybe we got to go running back 3, but oh man, who am I going to pick at running back 3? A-Chain. I pick Charbonnet because he's probably the most talented out of the 4. I mean, it's going to be tough to pick some of these. And honestly, at the 1-6, like, I'm probably going to try and move back because I don't have really a favorite out of any of these, and I'd rather accumulate a couple more. Like if I could trade out and be able to get a Tajay Spears and a Kendra Miller, if that's possible, move back in the late first and then early second. That's what I'm looking to do. Or I'm looking to just trade my pick straight up, that 1-7, and see what's out there. I wish I could think of exact values of what I'm looking for in one QB when it comes to 107. Don't have any off the top of my head. But maybe that's something, we need to talk about and see, like, well, what can I get for the 107? What's an appropriate value? Because that's something I'm looking to do as we look through these rookie drafts. Is I'm not tied to these picks. Like, we don't have to make these picks. We can trade them 100% to people and see what happens. Like today, I actually did the opposite because I had good value. Today, I traded I had Elijah Moore for the 205. Sounds like a terrible trade. Kendra Miller was still sitting there at the 205. Personally, I'd rather have Kendra Miller over Elijah Moore. Could it be a mistake? Maybe, but I want to believe in the talent that some of these rookie running backs have. I think he could be a stud down there. Guess we'll find out and see. But those are some of the moves I'm looking to make. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys on this rookie mock draft. I hope it helps. I hope you guys can figure out what the values are and how you can win in your drafts. And that some of this advice I've been promoting on here is going to be of some help in some way. Appreciate you guys joining. Again, if you ever want to join the Discord, link is down in the description. And feel free to subscribe to the channel if you love Dynasty Fantasy Football. I'll see you on the next one.